The philosopher Heraclitus once said that the only constant is change. I'm Morgan Dean, and in my military career, this has held true. In the 15 years I've been in, I've moved 7 times, and 2 of those to include different countries. Now, adapting to your surroundings is not always an easy task. There's a lot of stress when you're moving from a new city, state, or even country. I'd like to share some of my own experiences and maybe give some tips and advice to help you on your next move. Now, the major differences you'll see are new climates, new cultures, or even new people. And moving into a new climate can be a widely different experience. I personally grew up in Tampa, Florida, where it's constantly hot, a lot of rain, and you have white sandy beaches, and you deal with the occasional hurricane. And up until I joined the military, I had never seen snow. And fast forward 4 years later, not only had I seen it, I'm now trying to learn how to drive in it, which was quite a scary experience having a rear-wheel drive car because it's a lot harder to keep in control. But luckily, thanks to a few friends, I was able to become an expert. Now you go fast forward even more to when we moved here in Alaska, and now I think I'm an expert in winter driving, and I get a shock to learn that when they don't salt the roads, it becomes very icy, and it's a whole new experience again for me. So, luckily again, with the help of friends, I was able to prepare. And that's the best thing you can do, is prepare for what you're going to be moving into. Read up on what your new place is going to have and what you're going to be facing. Like, are you going to have snow where you need to have snow tires and real winter jackets, or are you going to have to be dealing with the heat and maybe having that black leather car interior isn't the best idea. Laura from Bustle.com also recommends when you're moving to a new place is to don't hold yourself up and try to get out the house and experience these new things, because it's very easy when the temperature starts dropping or starts going really up to stay in and avoid all the bad weather. But like her, I agree that you want to get out in that weather and get used to it, so it's not as much a big deal. Like now when we go to new locations to work, like when we went down to Florida again from here, it's in the 60s, and everybody I work with, we're all in our shorts and t-shirts, happy to be out there, and everybody's still wearing their long jackets, thinking it's the worst it's ever been. So it's always good to get immersed so you're ready to face your climates. Now, also when you're moving, one of the biggest things, especially when moving to a new country, is that you're going to face new cultures. And the biggest thing, you will have culture shock no matter who you are. And culture shock, defined by dictionary.com, is stated as bewilderment and distress experienced by an individual suddenly exposed to a new environment. And this is true. I went to my wife to see her opinion on, like, for her, she grew up in the Philippines, and we got married. She moved to Germany, and it was the first time being outside into a new environment. And I asked her some of the differences that she thought she faced. And for her in the Philippines, she said that you could always go around and find people to talk to. Everybody's friendly and it's open, and it's just a very social environment. And moving to Germany, it felt almost the opposite, where everybody kind of keeps to themselves, and there's not as many people out and about doing things because the weather's usually not as good as it is there in her home location. So there's a lot of, no matter where you're coming from, there's always going to be some change to what you're doing. So for me, if you have the time, learning the language helps a lot. Finding the do's and don'ts of your country, like saying in Qatar, they prefer you to use your right hand, or for women, they might have to wear a headscarf. Learning the small things in a country helps a lot. You see the appreciation when you're either trying to speak the language or trying to follow their customs, and they're a little more adaptive to helping you, and it also helps you maybe become more friendly with them. Now with these two things, there's still the last part, the main reason you're probably moving, and that's going into a new job. And you're going to most likely be facing new people. So a lot of tips I saw off the Huffington Post was, first off, to try to be polite. As always, you always want to be polite no matter where, but even more so when you're in a new place because you're trying to fit in. Find opportunities to join conversations, to find people that maybe are a little more like-minded like you, so you can find some more people to connect with right away. And for me personally, I like to observe the environment and see who's around me and see what's going on, so I can kind of get a feel of how everybody's attitudes are. And even then, when you do join in with them, try to match their tones. As far as if you have a loud crowd, you might have to speak up, or if you are the loud person, maybe tone yourself down a little bit, just to match in and kind of mesh in with the people you're learning with. So, in the end, when moving to a new place, there's a lot of things, but the best thing you can do is prepare. Learn about your new environment, get the things you need to be able to survive in that environment. Learn the do's and don'ts of the countries you're in so that you can better mesh with the new culture you're facing. And when you're going through a new job, also to take the time to learn people, find a way to jump in the conversation to do that. And I hope you have a good move on your next time.